Okay, so this is Group Project 3, Genre and Movie Structure. I'm Mariano Rabolar, and with me is Derek Crook, Mike Cisneros, and Levi Stroop. So for the first movie, we have cell block Z, and the structure we kind of struggled to come up with because it was kind of all over the place. There was Ted and the warden. They come together, they meet, the warden betrays Ted, Ted goes off in a solitary confinement, the warden continues on for the rest of the movie where he's at, and then Ted goes through some troubles and tribulations until he finally comes back to the warden. For the disease, we have Jeanette and Penny on the top, and Elaine and Robin on the bottom. And they both start in the facility that they're at. Location is not discussed until Jeanette and Penny escape. Elaine and Robin try to go after them. And they both continue on their adventures. Jeanette and Penny to her house. And Elaine and Robin try, but can't keep up. And then they come back, they meet together back at the facility. So that's the first part, the structures of the two scripts. Next, we have the type, the genre, subgenre, and pathway of each movie. So for Cell Block Z, we have the type drama. It was not funny in any way. The genre was horror and science fiction. We kind of felt, as a group, we decided it had strong elements of both. Horror, it was extremely violent. People were dying. Zombies are typically associated with horror. But with science fiction, as we find in the readings, major characteristics is the main character is a bystander who's victimized. He gets infected. There exists a relationship with the promise of respite, the conversation with Sophie. And the antagonist is a scientist or something related to the warden, not exactly a scientist, but this prison that he runs, he is running experiments on the people in it. For subgenre, obviously, monsters and zombies. Clearly says that in the script. And for pathway, we kind of leaned as a group towards legend/fable. Zombies have been a classic mythos for a long time. Jamaica, that kind of thing. This is just a fresh, new version of it. So next, moving on to the disease, we have drama, more specifically melodrama, because of the female protagonist, the presence of a strict social order, and the barrier of where they're at and what they're trying to do. That's also found in the readings. So for genre, we kind of chose crime, and again, a mixture of sci-fi. This is crime mainly because underneath crime there is an escape movie, which we'll get to in a sec. And they're trying to escape the prison that they're in, and they go on their adventure. The only difference is that they actually come back. But you can also find this in movies, as in like The Dark Knight, where the Joker chooses to be captured, and Seven, where Kevin Spacey willingly turns himself in. So underneath subgenre, we have disease and escape. They are heavily afflicted with some kind of disgusting disease that causes sores. And obviously, like I've said, they escape the facility that they're in. So that's subgenre. For pathway, we, as a group, decided to go towards buddy movie / fish out of water. Buddy movie because Jeanette and Penny are one pair, and they go off on their adventure. Elaine and Robin are the other pair, and they do their thing. And fish out of water, mainly just because we were going to say day in the life, but escaping isn't really an everyday activity for these people. So fish out of water, the facility is where they're normally at, and then getting out of that is fish out of water. So next, we have the connection between genre and story. So, with Cell Block Z, we all decided the script was terrible, and there's not really any connection. It was kind of all over the place, and we don't know who you're really following. For the disease, for escape and genre and structure, you're kind of with them, and then they go off and do their own thing, and then come back. That's what we found to be similarities between the two. And other similarities, they're in a quarantine facility, there's diseases everywhere, there's an authoritative figure, and they have different motives. And they both want to escape. So, finally, recommendations. Cell Block Z. Some sort of actual story structure instead of random chaos. You go from the guard to the warden to Ted to back to the guard, and it was just all over the place. The mood changed completely at the very end. There was murder. He chewed off his own hand, and then he gets a phone call and happily answers Sophie. That's ridiculous. The zombies and the friends, how is he coherent enough as an infected person to do all these humanly things while still befriending zombies? The giant zombie didn't kill him or the guard. He should be smashing everyone. Like, that made no sense. So we figure, recommendations kind of like continuity. That's okay. Continuity. That's what I'm thinking of. For the disease, how did they? We were thinking for three main recommendations to explain. How did they end up there? What happened? What's the backstory? Does this disease only affect women? Are there men? Number two, we want to know if Elaine lives or dies at the end. We don't know. We just know that she faints. And number three, so there's a part in the script where being outside, the sores are starting to get better. We wish there was more of an elaboration on that, because that'd be an interesting twist where, they keep them quarantined and locked up, but then being outside in the sunshine, it cures them of this horrible disease. So that's group project number 3, genre and story structure analysis.